we are all running out of time, right? Given that, can we skip a couple of topics for the biomed paper in GATE 2020? That's a question many students have. Okay, this is a very hard question. The reason being, there is no data. That is, this is the first time the GATE 2020 exam is being given, and there is no data to answer that question based on previous year's question papers. Having said that, I am going to try to answer that question using logic and reasoning, and in order to do that, I need one thing from you. What is your objective for the GATE 2020? Okay, be very clear on that, and once you fix that, this video is likely to make more sense. Let's make sure we are on the same page, and in order to do that, let's try to answer some of the questions regarding number of students who write GATE exam, number of students who get qualified for the GATE exam, what is the cutoff mark for the qualification, and what is AAR 1 mark, and what is the expectation from PSUs. Okay, because we don't have any data for BME, so I am going to start with mechanical engineering and instrumentation engineering. Okay, so how many students do you think appear for the mechanical engineering stream? Okay, usually it's about 2.3 lakhs. Okay, for a stream like instrumentation engineering, the number is close to 12,000. So this is one of the major streams. This is not such a major stream. Because BME is being introduced for the first time, and it's not as major as mechanical engineering. It's going to be something similar to instrumentation engineering, and slightly lesser. Okay, say I would expect about 3,000 students who would appear for the exam. So how many students do you think usually qualify out of this total number of students who appear for the exam? Okay, let's make it in percentage. Okay, all these numbers are all approximate, so that we know where the ballpark is, and based on that we can try to estimate or guesstimate those values for BME. For a stream like, again, mechanical engineering, it's about 14% of students who appear for the exam get qualified for the GATE. Okay, similarly, it's similar with industrial engineering, perhaps sometimes slightly higher, so 14 to 16%. What I would expect for BME is that those students who are going to appear for the exam, they really like the subject, so this number is at least going to be towards the upper range. So let me guess 16 to 18%. Okay, so which means, right, about 550 students would get qualified for the GATE exam, BME stream. Okay, so what is the cutoff mark for qualification? Cutoff mark is pretty low, close to the pass mark, which is like 35 standard exam. So cutoff mark for the GATE is 33 marks usually, or at least close to that. So even for the BME, I would say get at least 33 out of 100. Okay, so you should qualify for the exam. But once you qualify, whether you get a seat in a nice college or you get a job in a PSU depends on how much mark you score, right? For a stream like ME, there are so many students appear. Okay, it's highly competitive, and there are certainly one or two outliers, okay, who stand ahead of the crowd. So in order to get AAR 1, the mark is something like, say, 95 out of 100. Okay, in instrumentation engineering, not so many students appear, not so many outliers, so I would roughly say 85 plus. One of the reasons being because it's an outlier, it kind of varies each year. Okay, based on that BME, okay, the syllabus is highly uncertain. At least those who are giving the exam for the first time, or the exam is being conducted for the first time, there are no previous year solved papers for practice and all that. Given that, AAR 1 is going to be slightly lesser. Okay, even though there might be outliers, this number is going to be much lesser, and also the total number of students who are appearing is like 3,000. Given that, at best, one of the best outliers, let's say he's going to score somewhere in 70 to 80. Okay, if it touches 80, it's very good. I would expect AR1 is going to be like 70 marks out of 100. Okay, having said that, what is the base requirement for PSUs, most PSUs? You need to at least get 60%. Okay, for a stream like mechanical engineering, which is competitive, you need something like 75%. Okay, for instrumentation engineering, okay, having at least 70% would be a good bet. For BME, because it's the first time, okay, although we are also much interested in the subject, because it's the first time, let's say at least get 55 to 60%, so that you are close to first class. Okay, having said that, the reason for me to fill up this table is primarily this. So the AR1 is first somewhere going to be 70 to 80, and based on a PSU or a decent college, whatever your objective is, you could place yourself on how many marks that you want. Let's say I want AR1. Okay, in that case, I need to get 80. Okay, the way I read a topic, or I recommend my students to read a topic, is to take topics that you're really good at, read it. Okay, know it inside out. Okay, the topics that you don't like, skip them. You don't have to know anything about them, or just skip them. Don't waste time with topics that you don't like. Having said that, let's say I'm going to prepare for 80 marks. Okay, so I am going to skip 20 marks. I'm going to use all my time to prepare for 80 marks. I'm going to skip 20 marks because my objective is to get AR1. Okay, and I know if I answer a question, it's going to be right. I'm going to avoid negative marks. That is the scenario. Okay, let's say I can afford to lose 20 marks or skip topics that corresponds to 20 marks. Okay, how many topics can I skip? This is what I'm going to answer next. Okay, so we wanted to attempt for 80 marks and skip topics worth of 20 marks. How many topics can we skip? Okay, so what I have here is this first two columns, the topics in the GATE syllabus, BME paper. In this column, the type of questions, the 4 type of questions that appear in the GATE exam. Okay, so out of these topics here, 1 and 2 are common to most papers, general aptitude and engineering math. Okay, so this is worth 15% or 15 marks, and this is worth 15 marks. These 2 topics are usually easy, and if you are good at them, especially in engineering math, you can pretty much qualify for the GATE exam just based on these 2 topics. Okay, so don't skip these 2. The subject specific topics, we have like 7 topics. Okay, in this I have clubbed anatomy and physiology, medical imaging systems and biomaterials into one topic. The reason being, most of the questions that could show from these topics are of the 1 mark type. You're going to either answer these questions based on memory, pure memory, or they are going to ask very basic things, okay, or they are going to ask questions that depend on formula. Anyhow, most of these questions will be of 1 mark type, so I clubbed those 3 topics together. Okay, so in total, the subject specific topics, we have 7 topics. Okay, and how many marks are these topics worth? 70 marks, because 30 marks corresponds to the first 2. Okay, so on an average, by probability, how much is each topic worth? Each topic would correspond to 10 marks, which means if I afford to lose say 20 marks, okay, based on time constraints, don't have time to read or revise, I can afford to skip 2 topics and focus on the other topics. Okay, there are a couple of ways to select the 2 topics that you would afford to choose. Okay, if you choose to skip, if you know what your strong topics are, you could choose them based on that. Skip big topics, focus on strong topics. But if you also need help with that, Okay, I wouldn't go ahead and skip electrical signals, and because it's a BME paper, sensors and bioinstrumentation. As far as biomechanics is concerned, I'll be uploading many more videos in the next 2 months. So if you follow this channel, you should be in a reasonably good place to answer many questions from biomechanics. Okay. This is just, don't skip this. This is like mostly going to be 1 mark questions. Just get to know the terms in the syllabus. Okay. For anatomy and physiology, the standard book is called Gayton and Hall. Okay. You could either refer to that or just go and look at 11th and 12th biology books. The anatomy and physiology there should suffice for this particular exam because we are all engineers. Okay. Medical imaging systems and biomaterials. We already have a suggested reference book. Please take a look at this video. Okay. So that leaves us with 3 topics. Okay. Analog electronics, digital electronics, measurement and control system basics. I'm not sure what your hot topic among these 3 is, okay, but I know that there are certainly many easy thoughts in some of these topics. Okay, take control systems, make sure you know transfer functions, right, what a body plot is, and at least make sure you know Laplace transform, things like that. With digital electronics, there is a question from, say, logic gates. Those are usually very easy questions. Don't skip them. As far as analog electronics goes, know the basics of diodes, amplifiers and all that, especially amplifiers and all that will be used in many of these sensor designs. Okay, amplifiers and filtering circuits will be used. So at least get to know those basics, and if you cannot decide the topics to skip yourself, my suggestion is pick 2 out of these 3. Of course, this is only if you don't have time to prepare for the exam, right? You are running short of time, you decided to skip, and the cost of that is going to be 20 marks. Make sure you are extremely good in the rest 80% of the topics. Okay, if you find this video useful and if you think it will help your friends who are preparing for GATE, share it with them. Good luck with your preparation as well as for the exam. Okay, avoid negative marks at all costs and nurture genuine interest. Do this because you are passionate about it. That would be my suggestion, and thanks for watching this video.